Waldrop, Beckham. Beckham came early and then, yeah, okay, bye. He'll be back, he says. He's a C-clamp mofo. Yeah, I do have a fair number of C-clamps. But obviously, sometime once in a while, I need to use that many. Oh, how are everything? How's everybody doing? We'll wait for some people to show up. Then we will. There's not much that isn't going to be boring to do on the guitar. We're going to take it out of clamps. It's been in those clamps for enough time. 3 hours probably is lots. I'm not stressing that joint with what the next couple of activities are on it. So we'll get that out of clamps. We'll trim up the fretboard. And I got the pen mandrel in the lathe. Cause yeah. Not too, I mean, I could start Shinto rasping the profile on the neck. But that's boring work that nobody's going to want to watch. And that's the next phase. So, Stanford, do I still turn pens? Yes. Well, haven't for a while. Did you use your Roto-Rooter to square the ends? My Roto-Rooter? I don't know what that is. To square the ends of what? I don't know what it is that you're referencing. I'm going to say that the answer is no. The spinning blades of my drill. The ends of the pen blanks? Yeah, I'm still working on that same old batch of pen blanks that I had prepped from like before Christmas market. I haven't prepped any more pen blanks since I prepped that batch of like 50. So we're still gonna be doing walnut and cherry slimlines if we go over there. Sabili, I think, maybe. I don't know. I've not prepped any more pen blanks. Shut up. Close up my leg vise. Oh. Still the stream start while I'm at Applebee's. That's another show first, I think. This might be another show first. I'm on in an Applebee's. Hello, Applebee's, Omaha. I hope I'm not on like an actual screen at an Applebee's in Omaha. Like on a little phone, maybe with earbuds or something. Just can you put on this? Can I stream to that TV? Is that cool? And then we'll put it on over the speakers. Could you imagine an Applebee's playing this show over dinner? It's probably not dinner time in Omaha. Oh, okay. I'm gonna take this off. Again, too hot. Ugh. Yeah, not much we can do other than take that out of clamps and trim up the fretboard a little bit. But we'll get to that. Yeah, AirPods, I'll totally check if any devices are available. As Wii's with tennis and party games. Cool. That's more exciting. Play some Wii golf or something instead. This show is not going to be that fun. Oh, This show is not as fun as video games. What are you doing? We'll hang out for a few minutes, see if some more people trickle in. Either way, we're doing a show, so whatever. Get a plane, a little block plane or something to help trim up the fretboards. Do a quick rip down the side with the bandsaw. Fretboard overhang is a little bit long still. Oh, crap. I would normally want to trim that on my table saw. I'll just draw a line and cut to it on the bandsaw, whatever. My table saw's got too much stuff on it. Small shop problems. Small shop problems. Small shop. It's bigger than some. I know. Anybody else making anything cool these days? Other than Paul? Because I know what Paul's making these days. Just churning out guitars again. Trim up my Veritas Band-Aid. Anybody? No? Too cold in the shop, Stanifer says. Well, yeah, I get that. I don't want to work if it's cold. I don't want to work if it's too hot either. We've seen that happen. When the heat wave rolls through in the summer. Poof. Dr. Ping, new name. Dr. Ping just got a CNC, having lots of fun. Cool, right on. Welcome to the show. I picked up 2 fancier pen kits, probably. I want to tackle when you get home. Sweet. Meeting with a guy to supply his bodies for his custom builds. He's coming to the shop on Saturday to check things out. Sweet. Mass production. That's rad. As long as you're still making enough money to be happy doing it. If you gotta churn them out faster for a pay cut, that's probably not cool. But as long as you're happy with the business arrangement. Oh, Pinnell's tardy again. Well, Mark Pinnell is tardy. Real job is secondary income now. That's a good place to be. That's a good place to be. I'm getting closer to being like, no, I'm not. I was just about to say, I'm getting closer to being like 50-50. But no, because I've slowed down significantly on like sales of things. Because I'm making stuff for me and that I want. So I'm not putting as much focus on like marketing myself as making custom woodwork for people. I should get back to doing that. I do a few things here and there. Mostly I sell, even the custom stuff that I'm doing these days are people that come into the shop, the art collective, and are looking for something to have made. And I'm like, hey, I could do that. Hello. About to let the wife retire from her position. Sweet. Right on. Summer is coming, and green space sales will be more open than ever. Green space sales will be more open than ever. I don't know what that actually means. Green space sales. What's sad is I spend 3 days a week on average in the shop and make more than your real job. Yeah, that's... Well, there you go. I probably could do the same if I, like, you know, focused on the money-making side of woodworking instead of the having fun in my shop side of woodworking. Grassy areas in towns or green space, public space. Oh, okay, gotcha. Like you just set up a little booth someplace, just in a park, and just away you go? Or are you talking about like organized like markets type things? If only I had government insurance like in Canada. Yep. It's a bonus. Craft sales, I don't know. Yeah. We do a couple of summer markets. Well, I do a couple of summer markets at the shop that I work at. We put on a couple summer markets, but I don't go to any of them that are like an every weekend kind of thing. Mainly because I don't want to stand at a market booth every weekend and be nice to people. Not that I don't want to be nice to people, but I don't want to just stand there and hawk myself every weekend. Yeah. So I do 2 or 3 a summer, and then I do generally 1 or 2 per Christmas season. It's about as market sales as I get these days. Or pay for booth space and not sell enough. Yeah, I've done that. I have absolutely done that. But I don't think I've ever, very few times, maybe twice, would I consider it to have been an overall loss in terms of paying for a market booth someplace. Because even the couple of times that I've not broken even on my booth rental, I ended up getting jobs from giving out business cards and just word of mouthing, and people who saw me at that market and then saw me again at a different market and were thinking about buying from me the first time and didn't, and then they saw me again and did, and that kind of stuff. So yeah. Kaplaw's here, McGill's here. Paul Tripp's taking 8 guitars and 30 bodies to the Dallas Guitar Show. Oof, that's a trunk load. Good stuff. Good stuff. I'm working on my second guitar. We're going to take the neck out of clamps here in a minute. There's just about enough people here to do that now. And we'll trim off the fretboard and live table saw clearing. I don't need to clear off the table saw. I'll just trim it up on the bandsaw. It's fine. I don't need the table saw again. I might not need the table saw again during the guitar. Can't think of another reason to use the table saw during the building of the guitar at this point. Heck yeah, I didn't miss the unclamping. That's what he's here for. He's here for the unclamping. Well, let's do it. Let me move my sweater. Here it is. Here it is, everybody. Da, da, da. So I was using C-clamps, which aren't big enough to get, I wanted to put a call on the fretboard. And I couldn't do a call and the neck and the thickness of my workbench. So I just like clamped a 2x4 to my workbench and like extended it off to the side. There we go. Is this exciting? Is this exciting for everybody else? Oh, it's backwards. No, it's not. There we go. Got a fretboard slotted and attached to the neck, but I do have to obviously trim it flush. So let's just do that. Oh, bandsaw's got a bunch of stuff on it too, doesn't it? A fret slotting jig and some cutoffs. What do you cut the fretboard slots with? Yes, I just started them with a Japanese pole saw, a Dozuki, on my fret slotting jiggy thing that I made the first time I made a guitar. The slots that I initially cut are basically just to mark where they are going to be, because as I'm radiusing it, I'm going to have to recut them. But they are now marked with in there. Just run it down without touching the neck, hopefully. Where's my goggles? There they are. Loud noises. Bandsaw is still screaming when it turns on because I haven't adjusted the tension yet. Maybe this way. Maybe I should mark where I want to cut that thing first and do that first. While the thing is actually square. Yep. That's the thing I should do. Just square to the fretboard. There we go. All right, loud noises, 3, 2, 1. That's all right. This is actually going to be a 24 fret guitar. Last time I cut through the fretboard on the 24th fret. This time I'm leaving it so it'll be a 24 fret guitar. we go. I left myself like barely anything there, which is good because I don't want to plane it forever. And I don't know, that'll probably do it. Except right down at the end, you can only get to there. Yeah, that works. Not how I like to use block plane, but it does the trick. And I didn't have it tight enough, and now it's close enough for me. Let's see if we can do it with a big guy. Make a little bit quicker work of it. There we go. Go. That's close enough. There's a little bit of a ridge there still. hard to get right into that little crook with a plane. Good enough. Get out of there. All right, so we got a fretboard, Purple Heart fretboard on a maple and Purple Heart stripe neck. It's cut to length. I caught when I was pattern routing. Got a little bit too close to the end grain and ripped out a chunk of it on the butt of the neck. But I just star bond and some dust bit back in where it tore out there. So we are one step closer, and that'll purple back up, I promise. And we'll just have to radius that still, obviously. And smooth this out, maybe thin this down just a touch, but I'll just do it on the oscillating belt sander when it comes down to that part. Doesn't have to come down too much. It's at not quite, it's a little over 5/8. Doesn't have to come down much from there. Could probably get down to a half, but maybe not. It doesn't need to. Cool. Clipping along. The truss rod is inside there, by the way. I remembered to put it in before I glued the fretboard on. Huh? Proud of me? Could you imagine? Oh, forgot to put the truss rod in. Gluing this fretboard on was one of the more stressful glue ups I've had in my life, and it shouldn't have been. But I couldn't find the right. Normally, I put the one time before this that I've ever made a guitar, I put locating pins in through that fret slot and that fret slot, but I didn't. I used toothpicks for that. Like I put I clamped the fretboard on, and then I drill for those pins, and I intended on using toothpicks. But I didn't have exactly the right size drill bit for toothpick size registration pins. But I thought it was close enough. Like I just a little bit undersized, and I was like, it's fine. Wood compresses. The toothpicks will just compress, and it'll be fine. I got my locator pins in the holes, and I got glue spread on the top of the neck, and I went to go put my fretboards on with my holes lined up with the toothpicks, and as I was pushing it on, the toothpicks both snapped off. So now I've got glue spread on my guitar neck waiting for a fretboard, and I don't have any locator pins. So I'm trying to like relocate my fretboard on top of a neck without locator pins and get it clamped in place without then clamping it and having it shift. So it was a little bit finicky. It was a little touch and go. I was like, no, because I'd put a clamp on and it would just go like just a little bit. But I think I got it. Lined up. wasn't fun. It wasn't a fun couple of minutes trying to get that fretboard in place without locator pins. Time for new beer. Pinnell finally showed up. Good to see you, my friend. What do you got going on these days, Mr. Pinnell? You got all your walls painted? Do you ever get that that big arch cabinet top cutout thing for that curved wall section? Do you ever get that figured out? The whole thing is too thick. Radius that. This can come down another eighth. Dude, this whole profile can probably come down about an eighth, which is a lot for a sander to do, but it's probably what I'm going to do. Do a lot of Shinto rasping on this part of it. Take that down a little bit quicker than sandpaper. Do some planing to radius that part, so I'm not doing that on the belt sander. It's getting close. Well, I would say at this point, if I'm not halfway done the guitar, I would venture to say that I'm close to halfway done the guitar. I mean, the neck is all but done, minus the final shaping and the frets. Final shaping, sanding, frets, and drilling some holes up here. So, no further along yet. Decided on live edge. That's as far as I got so far. Okay. You're making decisions. That counts. I have a friend who uses rare earth magnets to hold his fretboard to his neck with locator pins, and that way you don't have to steam off the neck. Or you can change fretboards at will. That'd be a lot of damn magnets to hold it on there good, though, wouldn't it? That seems... Man. Maybe just pop the fretboard off and put a new one back on with magnets. Wouldn't it move around on you while you're playing? That'd have to be a lot of magnets. I don't know about that. I mean, obviously it works for that guy, so who am I to question, but damn. Just finished making a very large end grain cutting board. Not a guy. Used some strips of Purple Heart and noticed some hairline cracks. I'm so bummed out. Well, why? It's an end grain cutting board. It's supposed to be porous. Just fill it with wax. It's fine. It's supposed to absorb things. Is the nut on the fretboard? Nope. The pins keep it from moving. Oh, I get you. And look, I forgot about the and locator pins part. So if it has locator pins and magnets, the pins will keep it from moving around and the magnets just keep it from popping off. Okay. All right. Oh, sorry. Is it on the fretboard where the strings hold it on? No, I put when the nut goes on, I'm gonna put a little bead of super glue of Star Bond right along there. Pop the fret on there. Once I get the neck radius to where it needs to be, I'm gonna make a truss rod access cover there. Drill 6-pack of holes in there. I am gonna thin it down. Even if it thins down another 1/16 on the headstock, that'll be good. The whole neck does need to probably come down about almost an eighth though. feels significantly too fatty fat. But it's final shaped this way. I'll show you. This is. Are you gonna? Is that gonna? Okay. This is my neck pocket that I'm gonna be using as a template. Geez, I hope now that I'm actually showing it, it's not gonna be like, oh, I guess it isn't. Nice and tight in there. I mean, fairly tight. It's fairly tight. Yeah, oh yeah, that's good. That's plenty good. How deep is my neck pocket? Well, I don't know. I haven't made it yet. The body is still over there. I haven't routed out the neck pocket yet. That's my neck pocket template. It's a piece of MDF. Let's not make the guitar out of that. Usually how deep? The one time before this that I've done it, it was about that deep. I routed it until it was about a 1/4 inch from the back. So, and it was about 1 inch and, let's say it was 1.5 inches. The neck pocket was between 1 inch and 3/8, 1 inch and 3/8 or so deep. But the neck pocket depth will be based on the thickness of the body. And then I'll just match the neck butt depth to the neck pocket depth when I am fitting the neck into the neck pocket. Why not MDF? PRS uses it in their bodies. Yeah, well, PRS can do whatever they want. Does this look like PRS guitars? Does this shop look like it's PRS guitars, Paul? They can do whatever they want at PRS guitars. Yeah, it's all the way over there. I'm going to stop fussing with it because it's not going to be entertaining for anybody. Let's hang clamps back up. No, let's get the clamps ready to get hung back up. And then, should we turn a pen? Because I got the pen mandrel set up there because I knew that there wasn't going to be that much work to be done on the guitar for this particular show. Or we could just sit and hang out. I mean, I could turn the sander on and get some more work done on it, but there really isn't a good spot for you guys to sit over there. And I do like to hook the vacuum up to the sander when I'm running it for any significant length of time, like I will be on this. So I usually bring it over to the workbench to do that. And I can't get it out of there right now. So between shows, at some point I'll pull the sander out, bring it over to the workbench, hook the vacuum up, and just a little bit sort of in there. And I actually didn't pattern route the headstock because why? I could just I'll just sand it. I'll sand down to approximately my line. My line is not that important for the headstock, really. So just do that on the belt sander too. And yeah. Get him hung back up here. Wolverine setup show. Yeah. Fucking guy. Shows up late. Starts getting lippy right away. McGill wants a pen. McGill wants me to make a pen. Have the Easywood Tools 3-piece set mid-size carbide. Nice. $320 USD from eBay from Tay Tools. 20 less than Amazon, so tempting. So do you have them or are you considering them? It's like it says you have the Easywood Tools. And then you're talking about the prices and how it's tempting. My first 3-piece set of carbide dealies I got from PSI. I still use them. I still use the rougher all the time. I have upgraded my finisher, but I use the rougher and the pointy all the time. And it was the PSI's, the 3-piece set was like $110 Canadian. I upgraded to the full size #1 hollower from Easywood Tools that I use instead of the round cutter of the PSI set, and a bowl gouge. And those are really I'd say those are the 4 turning tools that I use. It's the rougher from PSI, the diamond one from PSI, the #1 hollower from Easywood, and a 1-way 1/2-inch bowl gouge. Get 99.9% of the work in my shop between those 4. In fact, if we go over and do a pen here in a couple minutes, I'd probably do the whole thing, start to finish, with that PSI mini or small roughing gouge. And that, like I said, that set of 3 was $110 Canadian. Still use my original carbide tools sometimes. I still use the original that he does. He uses the original. He sharpens his carbide tips. Because he'll spend $1,000 on a sander. But he's not about to spend another $15 on a carbide tip for a turning tool. Nope. Because I'm just cheap that way. Yeah, hey, whatever gets you there. No judgment here. I'm cheap in some ways too. Some ways I'm not, but in some ways I am cheap as well. I'm not about to sharpen carbide tips for my turning tools, though. No. Not for $20 a year. I've replaced my square tip, carbide tip, square carbide tip for that rougher twice in 3 years. So I'm okay with that expense. I am cheap about sandpaper though. Like I keep fully used up hook and loop discs of sandpaper just laying around because maybe I'll use it again for something. Until I do like the massive cleanup, the biannual mass clean where they all just get thrown out. There's constantly random discs of like, why am I keeping this sandpaper? Because I'm cheap and I can't bear to throw out like not completely used disc of sandpaper. Had to buy a new set of bits for the turning tools you made for yourself. Should have just sharpened them. In the cart. I think the set is worth it. I suspect if I buy one, I'll buy the other eventually. Yeah. I mean, and the Easy Wood tools are really good. It's one of those ones that's like, you know, if you can justify the expense of the better tool, you're not going to be upset about it later. It's like I keep telling Peterson. He keeps sending me links to like lathe chucks. It's like, what about this one? And every time I'm like, just save an extra couple bucks, man. Just buy the Talon. It's like, I know you're trying to like, you don't want to spend the money, but like, he's sending me links to stuff that are like $150 instead of $200, and I'm like, just spend the extra $50, dude. You don't know if that one's any good. You know that this one's good. If you get this one and it sucks, then you're out $350 because you end up buying the $200 one anyway. It's probably more than that now. I haven't looked at what the Talons go for these days, but I have two. One of them I haven't even opened yet. I bought another one just because I had the money available and I was in the store that had them. It's like, just gonna get another one. Why not? Send him off to buy a Vicmark instead, and then he'll come back to the Talon. That's what I should do. Just be like, okay, so you can buy the Talon, or I've heard good things about the Vicmark. Yeah, that's a good call. I was using the Penn State chucks. Yeah, I got one of those too. They couldn't really hold bowls of any size, so wife bought you a Nova chuck. Several sets of jaws for it. Yeah. Cool. My original Penn State jaws are exclusively pen tube drilling rig. Literally just all it does is hold pen jaws for drilling holes. Mike's got a Nova as well. I've heard good things about the Nova. I don't think I've ever seen anybody have like major complaints about the Nova. I don't think you're saving that much money over a Talon though at this point, between that and the Nova set. But like whatever gets you there. Some people think they need a Mercaderos sander. Tex X McSee. Hello. Don't be weird. Well, you could be weird. Just be weird in a cool way. Vic mark is something you pick up when someone shuts their shop down. Hey, if that's how you got to do it. However you need to get there. I have the Penn State set up with a set of coal jaws permanently attached to them. Yeah, that was the idea behind buying the second Talon, was that my old Talon I was going to set up with the jumbo jaws that I also still haven't opened because I want to do a video on like, hey, I finally don't have to put mortises in the bottom of my bowls anymore because I got this set up. Should record that one of these days so that I can get using that. Should we do a pen? Let's have a look at what we got. And I'll go get the pen press and put it on the bench. Cherry, walnut. Looks like we're down to cherry and walnut in terms of this batch of ones. I don't know if I have. I know I've got a whole bunch of Padauk ones that I just don't think I've squared the ends on yet. Somewhere. Ugh, gunmetal myrtle. Fucking Jesus. Why do I do this to myself? Looking forward to getting a second set of jaws for the Talon. I need bigger ones when I find the need down the road. I have the number 2 set that it comes with, and I have a number 3 tower jaws. And I think I have a set of the ones as well, and I have the jumbo jaws. I almost have the full set of good that goes with the Talon. I don't swap them very often though. Two is a good number. The one that it comes with gets you a long way. I have an 8-inch on the Penn State, and son bought me a set of 12s for his birthday. Oh, sweet. Matthias has plans for coal jaws and wooden chuck jaws. Yes, of course he does. You know, I should be more angry at you for promoting that guy on my show. Because there are probably some assholes that don't know who that is. And they're going to go watch him now. Because of you. I apologize in advance for the people who don't know who that is. And they think that Paul is recommending that you go see him. Because he is hard to watch. Walnut or cherry? Don't say myrtle. Don't say gunmetal. Don't say copper. Say walnut or cherry. If you want to figure out your own eyeglass prescription, it's a great channel. Stanifer says cherry. Waldrop says walnut. And I kind of want to not do what Waldrop says anymore, ever. But the other option was Stanifer. So somebody I'm not fighting with right now, tell me. McGill. Walnut or cherry? I'm gonna wait for McGill. All right, well, McGill says walnut. We're always fighting, Stanford. You're the worst, remember? Yeah, you got your own coaster and everything. You don't win, Paul. McGill wins. It has been a while. When does anybody remember off the top of their head when the last time I was over here? When was the last time I was over here at the lathe, let alone making a pen? Oh, last time was Branding Iron Safety Awareness Day. We made a cherry platter and branded the bottom of it. So sometime early January. It's only been a couple weeks, but it's been since before Christmas that I made a pen. I'm pretty sure. What gear am I in? Middle one, I guess, probably. Yeah. Okay, that'll do. Oh, let's turn it up. Let's go fast. Because if you're not first, you're last. Let me, before we get too far ahead of ourselves, let's get some stuff ready to be able to do this. Get some sandpaper bits. Get a couple of screws. Where are my 8 by 3/4? I'm just mounting my pen press to the bench in case anybody's wondering what I'm doing over here. I'm gonna need one of these for some finish. Got some various sandpapers, probably not enough. Looks like 120, 240. Oh, I got these little guys over here too. One of those, one of these. All right, we're just about ready. We're just about ready. Oh, this should be plugged in over there. No, I don't need that for pen. I don't need the random orbital sander for a pen. All right, here we go. PSI carbide rougher. just for fun, we'll do our first. Oh, maybe we won't. I lost my thing. Well, this is a mess. Somebody come clean my shop. I was gonna use my dealie, but it's like just somewhere in my shop. So I'm not going to. Oh, hey. See why I just keep random pieces of sandpaper around? Because this is what I need them for. I just gotta find it. There we go. A not completely used up 150. And then after this, I can still using it to sharpen my carbide bits. No. Go to 220. Probably just do 220, 340 custom grit for tonight. If I have something like that, I'm on a 3 somethings. Okay. Hey, I'm not completely used up 320 sitting over here too. Here we go, 320. We'll do the custom high-speed crayon. If you are unfamiliar with this product, there's a link in the video description down to his website. He's down in Australia. He's my friend Scott. Makes these beautiful finishing products. You can use the discount code that is also down in the description. I hope, if I set things up properly. I don't know. Sometimes I don't. I think that I did. I used to sell it out of my shop until I sold it all and decided that it was more economic for me to just get a discount code through him and have him send it to people. There's our high-speed crayon step 1. It's made by a scientist friend of mine using the wax from magical Australian bees. And some sort of grit harvested off a remote cliffside, which he's carried to in the pouch of a giant kangaroo shaman. To go harvest it, need to be guided there or taken there by kangaroo shaman. Is a final sanding and finishing process all in one, and it is fantastic. There's our step 2, there's our step 1, here's our step 2. Buff in, buff out. There you go. And I'm thinking I might just pick a hardware for this because you guys suck at voting on stuff. And it doesn't much matter because I need to use them all eventually anyway. So let's see what I've got in the box. Maybe it'll be like the first one my hand hits. We'll just do that one. First one my hand hit was chrome. So the walnut pen gets to be chrome. Walnut chrome slimline pen and a guitar neck. Well on its way. I got this backwards. I'm like not used to using this like this, so I'm gonna turn it around because I probably can't even operate this thing left-handed. My left hand's useless. It's like something ain't right here. What's going on? Come here to learn, everybody. In case that hasn't been mentioned yet. Beauty. First shot. Got it perfect. There we go. Get that. Come on. Aw. What did I do? How did that even happen? There we go. Things were going so well. There. That's better. There we go. Walnut chrome. I've never seen like the end piece like start going in far enough to get itself stuck but not be flat. It just like it was well off too. There we go. Chrome, walnut. And get the little nubby off of there. Haven't played sax or trumpet in 40 years. Me neither. Yep, that's accurate. Played clarinet in high school band. And I did muddle around with the saxophone for a little bit, but because it's essentially just a different shape of the same instrument as clarinet. Oh, beer. Your hands don't want to cooperate for the guitar, and mine neither. There we go. Look at that, everybody. We made a whole thing, and we made progress on the other thing. So, in case you weren't here earlier, the fretboard is now on the neck and flushed up with the edges of it, which in between shows I flush trimmed to my template. So now this is final dimension this way. And now I just have to profile the back, thin down the headstock just a titch, and then cut that to whatever depth my neck pocket ends up being once we have the body made, and that is routed. The neck looks nice, Mike. Yeah, I think so. I think it's gonna I gotta say, it's going to be hard to convince myself to ever make another guitar neck out of something that isn't quarter sawn maple. Because after I cut out this neck profile in 2 directions and relieved a lot of material from it, I came back a couple days later and it had not moved 1 iota. It was still exactly dead flat and not bowed or twisted or anything. It's like, and the only thing I can think is that it was, I mean, it is, you're probably not going to see it, but is almost perfectly quarter sawn maple. That thing. And I did, like I said, when I was routing it, I did catch the end grain on the router bit. So I'd do a little bit of filling with some Starbond and some sawdust on that back corner. But that is going to be inside the guitar. So nobody except you guys is ever going to know. That thing would be hard to play the way it is. Maybe for you. No, you're right. It's significantly too fat. It's too thick, and it's too square, and it's but it's not done. Settle down. It's getting close. Where's your almost done guitar neck? Huh? Kapla? So I guess you never have to adjust the bar you put inside it. I don't know, probably will. That's what this part's for. This, I'm going to drill a hole in the end of that. Right there. To get an Allen wrench in. Because that's how you adjust the this or the that of the neck. Is by the nut on the end of that truss rod. That you access right through there. Once I drill a hole there. That goes underneath the nut. Oh, Kapla is talking back. All right. I have a partially made neck from a guitar I started on about 30 years ago. I forgot about that. Fully shaped, but no fretboard. Oh, well, then now I'm 1 step ahead of you. And it took you 30 years. You know I'm just messing with you. Got a piece of beef jerky. Hold on. Piece of beef jerky just came out from between my teeth. Because that's where bits of beef jerky live for a while after you've eaten beef jerky. Are the PSI chisels the Benjamin ones? I don't know. They came... I'll show you what they are. They came in a 3-pack in a little wooden box. They look like this. And it comes with a rougher and a circle. And a pointy. And it comes in a wooden box with little latches. And like I said, it was like $110. And I still use the rougher almost every time I'm at the lathe for something. And the pointy one gets used a fair bit too. And the only reason I don't use this one is because I got the Easy Wood #1 hollower, and it is better. I think when I bought it, I want to say it was just called like 3-piece starter set carbide turning tools. Or something like that. But obviously I haven't looked for a significant period of time. Yeah, you're further than I got. I also have the body shaped and ready for electronics. Oh man, you're so close. Just slap a fretboard on that and finish it up, yo. You're so close. I'm surprised how many guys get upset that you won't make it / sell them a neck. Why would you get upset at somebody who didn't want to make you a neck? Like, just buy one from somebody else. Buy one from somebody who wants to make them. I guarantee you that if somebody comes to me and says, hey, will you make me a guitar neck? I'm also going to say no. I don't even like making my own guitar necks for my own guitars. Send them to Paul to finish for a nominal fee. Then lets Paul finish his guitar. Oh, yeah. You send them to Paul and let Paul, and then you can call it Kapla lets Paul guitar. TP will? I don't know that for a fact. I don't know that Tyler it makes guitar necks from scratch. I feel like he uses already made guitar necks as guitar neck blanks to add frets into. I know he has made guitar necks. I've seen him make guitar necks in the past, but I think in general, most of the guitar necks that he makes are made from like roughed out blanks and stuff like, I don't know. I might be talking out my ass, but he makes specialized guitar necks, right, with specialized fretboards for people who want way too many frets in their guitar neck. And I think what he does most of the time is buys guitar necks and adds frets to them. At least that's what I would do if somebody came to me and wanted a guitar neck with additional frets in between the other frets. I would buy a guitar neck with the normal number of frets and I would add more. I love the process of shaping the necks. I don't think there's anything I like about making guitar necks, honestly. Well, that's not true. I like it's fine. I don't dislike the making of the guitar neck other than the frets. I don't like the frets. Because they're not woodworking, they are metal. And they can suck it. Benjamin's Best Carbide Wizard 3-piece chisel set. Same price, $99 USD. So yeah, okay. That's probably them. Do they come in a little wooden box? Because that's probably about what they are. I didn't know they were Benjamin's Best. You should get a draw horse and get a spoke shave. Where am I going to put it? Huh? Where am I going to put it? If you wouldn't sell me a neck, I'd buy the whole guitar and use the neck if you needed a neck. Okay, that's fine. You can buy the guitar for $3,000 and you can take the neck out. Except you probably can't because I make set neck guitars. You would have to cut it out. You would have to cut it apart. And then you'd be cutting apart a $3,000 guitar. to get now a $3,000 neck. That doesn't sound like good value. Yeah, you could have a one-of-a-kind Les Paul guitar. This is exactly what you could have. I'm a terrible artist, so I can't draw a horse. Oh, hey-oh! Hey-oh! I could draw a horse if I had a picture of a horse to look at. I don't know that I could draw a horse just like off the top of my head. I like that I'm this close on this guitar already. Like I said, doing it all live on the show, I would not be anywhere. Oh, I mean, obviously, I wouldn't be anywhere close to this far along if I wasn't doing it on the show. Because the one that I'm supposed to be doing not on the show at the same time as this is nowhere near at this point. Supposed to be making 2 guitars at the same time. I'm only making 1, really, because I'm doing it live on the show. In between shows, I'm like chipping away little bits at a time at this one. It is what it is. I'm happy to be making another guitar. This one I might sell. I don't need any more guitars. This one I might sell. If it turns out playable. If I can successfully complete another guitar, I don't need this. I might sell it. Never need any more guitars. Shut up. Sometimes you do. I need what I need. You're not right, because what I need right now is a good acoustic guitar with some electronics in it that I could plug in if I wanted to. But like something that has the richness and full-bodiedness of a quality acoustic guitar, where you can get some of that low-end bass stuff comes through but doesn't drown out the treble side. I do, in fact, need one of those. I'll start the bidding at, you give me $5 and a can of Coke. Well, first of all, it's not going to be an auction. I'm going to put it up for sale. If I put it up for sale, I'm going to put it up for sale with a price on it. And the price is not going to include shipping. And I'm not going to approximate the shipping cost on it. Serious question. Is there a market of people to buy a guitar someone built themselves without the name attached to it? I'm going to say yes. There are people who appreciate handcrafted guitars, and that the person who made that guitar doesn't necessarily need to be a well-recognized guitar maker in order for them to appreciate it and possibly purchase it. Those people are out there. They're not all over the place. Like, I'm probably, I don't know, maybe I could take it down to the local music store and hang it on the wall with a price on it, and people could take it down and play it and see if they wanted to buy it, and it could sell. It's possible. You used to have a custom 250 amp with a speaker you made yourself? Sweet. Mike, your guitar is going to be beautiful. Also, how fun was our guitar jam the other day? Well, we didn't really have a jam because I didn't play. I was just listening to you. And it would have been more fun if you wouldn't have been trying so many goddamn Chili Peppers stuff. Chili Peppers. Did you look up what I told you to look up after we had that conversation about Anthony Kiedis? Did you? My speaker cabinet is 5 feet tall and 3 feet wide with two 15-inch woofers. Damn. Boom. Yep, that's a pretty big speaker. Patreon request. Anything by ABBA. Patreon request denied. No, I didn't. I don't want to know. Are you sure you don't want to know? I think you should want to know. I would want to know. I always thought that there was something not quite right with that guy. Turns out that I was right. Just didn't know what it was that made me not like that guy. It was double load, double folded, and ported for playing bass. It was a big bass speaker. I was thinking if I would buy a one-off handmade guitar from someone without the established luthier history, maybe in a music store. Well, yeah, you'd want to play it first. I mean, but if you walked into a music store looking for a new guitar, like an expensive new guitar, and the thing that called you from across the room was made by a local guy who you'd never heard of, and you took it down off the wall and played it and loved it, would you not buy it because it didn't say Taylor on it, or it didn't say Fender on it, or whatever? I think you might be more likely to buy it because it's a local guy you've never heard of that made a really nice thing. Chris Bennell, give me a yell, I'll give you a discount. Except for shipping. Didn't we talk about me maybe making you a bass one time? You know? If you want to spend a fair bit of money on a bass made by a guy who doesn't have a luthier name behind him, I could be talked into doing that. Probably won't sell it on Facebook Marketplace. No, I don't think locally handcrafted guitar on Facebook Marketplace would probably fetch me enough money to, unless I was going to sell it for like the cost of making it. But if I was going to make any sort of profit in it, it would probably either have to be at the local music shop or like a really well-made video demo by a really good guitar player. And probably put on a place like Reverb. Sold a few on Facebook Marketplace and eBay, but not a ton. Yeah, I don't. When you're spending that much money on something that is that personal to you, like even if it was demoed and sounded really awesome, like I don't know if I'm going to love the feel and sound and everything of it without having it in my hands and playing it. Like I said, when I go buy a guitar, when I have money and I'm interested in buying a guitar, I go into music stores until I find one that just calls me from across the room and says, you need to take me home. And then I take it down and I play it. And if it also sounds like I need to take it home, then I do. But it's like it's a visceral, like you and the guitar need to belong together, you know, and you can't tell that until it's in your hands, really. If anyone wanted to know, I did pretty good at the Rubik's Cubing competition on the weekend. We did want to know. Did you win? What does I did pretty good mean? Like, if you didn't win, you lost. So, did you win? My selling point is most of my builds are not the norm in look or playing. Yeah, dude, exactly. You don't make normal guitars. Like, if you want a Fender, go buy a Fender. If you want a Gibson, go buy a Gibson. I don't have any interest in making guitars that look like every other guitar either. How did you like my first bowl? I responded to your email with how I liked your first bowl. It was good. For a first bowl, to have your first bowl be a segmented bowl made out of oak slats from a futon you found on the side of the road, it was a good bowl. I could see how you were talking about how you were getting some tearing and some chip out and stuff, and it was, yes, I could see that. The glue seams, well, it's your first segmented thing and your first turning thing. So yeah, there's going to be some gaps in some seams, and but there's absolutely no shame in that result for a first bowl and your first bowl being a segmented turning thing. I didn't win, but I set some really good personal records. I beat my daughter at the cube she's usually better than me at. Well, that's mean. Turning is learning. Yeah, man. Like, shit, should we get the Adequate bowl down and have a look at it after a couple of years of... Bear with. Here is... Oh, God. Loud noises. Here is the Adequate bowl. This is the bowl that I turned. This is the first bowl I ever turned. This is the bowl that hurt me on my old lathe. The blank that ended up turning me off turning for about a year. With the lathe injury video. And then once I had enough confidence to give it another try, this was the first bowl that I ever made. And a huge gouge. You can see the tool marks all through it. Probably both sides where the end grain presents is like torn out. Look, that side's really bad. See that? I mean, the outside is relatively nice, but it's not even centered. Like, look at this side is significantly thinner than this side, meaning the inside isn't the same shape as the outside. Like, see how it's like super thin up there and then like pretty thick over here. So, but it's my most important bowl. Look at how thin it is right there compared to over there. But it was the first one on my journey. And I still think that it's adequate. It's called the Adequate bowl for a reason. And that's what it is. How'd you... Yeah, exactly. How did you do that? When you switched sides or even sanding because of grain toughness? Are you talking about how did I do like the uneven inside? honestly, I don't even know. It could have just not been fully evenly seated in the mortise, and if it was slightly tilted a little bit when it was grabbing in the inside, it would have been slightly turning, like not exactly, which would mean that the depth is actually probably also not the same, which that could have been it, because it feels like it might be a little bit thicker over here than over here. So that could have been it. Oh, Peterson showed up after we were talking about him. His ears were burning. He's always been lurking for a while. So did you hear us talking about you? I think it's because you were scared of it. Don't be scared. Could have been partially that I was still not fully confident. But there's absolutely something physically wrong when it's not centered. The inside is not centered in the outside. Something went wrong. I'm just here for the watch time and the likes. Oh yeah, hit that thumb if you haven't yet, peeps. Can only hope my first bowls look as good. It's an attractive shaped bowl. It looks good on a shelf, like just sitting up there like that. And there's some interesting grain bits happening. It's not super interesting. I want to say it's maple. No, it's definitely maple. It's got like a line of spalting in it and stuff, and it looks okay on the shelf. And I keep it nearby so that once in a while I can look up and be like, yep, you're better than that now. It's the same reason I keep this. This is the first ever dovetail I cut right here on this corner. You're not going to see how bad that gap is in that center of that one dovetail. But I intentionally made my first ever dovetail, that one right there, that I sit right beside and look and see all the time. Every time I come around my bench, I can see that dovetail if I look at it. And I cut on the wrong side of the line. And now it reminds me, be better. Did you turn the inside soon after you turned the outside? Yeah, I want to say yes. Because you're right, that could be after I turned the outside, it could have moved. Like the wood itself could have changed shape and caused that. But I think it was all in one push, like I do my bowls these days. I think it's that not fully seated issue that I was talking about there, because it does, now that I've talked it through, it does feel thicker over here than over here. And if you would notice, I just said it feels thicker over here than over here. And if we line those up, that's thicker than over here. Like that's the thick side, and that's the thick side of the bottom. I think it was not fully seated. And it was slightly, like if that's the faceplate, it was slightly like that. Thinking it through. It looks like sycamore. I think it's maple. Based on the ray fleck in the bottom, that looks like Querson maple to me. You want to say it's adequate? It is adequate. It's perfectly adequate. Thank you very much. I've turned green bowls into the outside one night and the inside the next night, and it worked the same way. You could use that bowl for rock collection now. Then it's perfectly adequate too, isn't it? And yeah, I've heard that about green turning, which is generally why green turners rough turn their bowl first and then finish turn it later. Isn't sycamore and maple the same species? Sort of. That's a call to Shannon Rogers, that is. It would not surprise me if sycamore was in the Acer family. I have to look it up though. What is the botanical name for sycamore? Maybe I'll glue a magnet in the bottom of the bowl so I can use it for a parts bowl that won't get knocked off the table saw. There you go. Big magnet right there. And then you can put your screws and stuff in there and it'll stick in and it can stick to stuff. Good call. I hear British people talk about sycamore and it looks just like maple. But British people have weird names for things. They might be calling maple sycamore and not even know. But I think it's a different tree. Sometimes called lacewood. What, sycamore is sometimes called lacewood? Because I've seen lacewood and it's nothing like the sycamore that I've seen. All the lacewood I've seen is like mahogany colored. Beer. Yeah, all the lacewood I've ever seen is in the reddish tinges of things. Acer pseudoplantaris, known as the sycamore in the British Isles. Okay, is there a different one over in North America? Planus occidentalis is the American sycamore. So the American sycamore is not a maple. The European sycamore, Acer pseudoplanatinus, is a maple tree. It is in the maple family. American sycamore is not, according to those botanical names. Because if it doesn't start with Acer, it's not in the maple family. Not to be confused with European sycamore, which is actually just a species of maple. Yes, see, there we go. So basically, the Brits are calling a maple sycamore, but there is actually Platanus occidentalis, which is American sycamore. We learned something. Come here to learn, everybody. Semantics. No, this is not semantics. Sometimes we do have, sometimes the things that we say are just semantics. But this is actually a different botanical, these are two different things. European sycamore is maple, and they are lying. So would Platanus occidentalis canadianus be the Canadian sycamore? If that was a thing, then it would, yes. We learned. This is why the UK weirds me out. See, the UK weirds me out about the aluminium. You're just adding an extra IN. Like, there isn't an extra IN in there. Why would you pronounce extra letters? Like, English is weird enough. Like, sometimes you don't pronounce letters that are there. But I can't think of another word in English where you add letters when you're pronouncing it from what's there. There are times where you don't pronounce letters that are there, but I don't know another word where you pronounce letters that aren't there, except for the way that Brits say aluminium. I had plantus occidentalis once who could barely walk on that foot. Yeah, well, should wear sandals at the pool. It's not just how they say it, it's how they write it, Marvs. They actually add the extra letters when they write it? I didn't know that. It weirds me out less now. I thought they were literally just pronouncing extra letters, but if they write those letters in and then pronounce it that way, it bothers me less. Aluminum is the guy who named it, making it match other things he named. He shortened it and spelled it both ways. It's not Brits doing that. Okay, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. They spell color and harbor and other things. Yeah, we do that in Canada too. That's how you're supposed to spell those things. That's how those words were invented. You guys are the ones that took the U's out of stuff. Usually called sycamore in North America, a name which can refer to other types of trees in other parts of the world. Long-lived species, typically surviving at least 200 years and as long as 500 to 600 years. Okay, cool. So it's not color and harbor, color. C-U-L-L-E-R. I like that. No. Nope. I mean, no, not going to get into it. However you need to get there. That's what this show is all about. Is however you need to get there, you get there. I am gonna wrap the show up though. We're almost at 2 hours. We made one walnut and chrome pen. We have gotten this far on the guitar neck. Just need to start shaping the back of the guitar neck and got to do a little bit of thinning out of the headstock and then drill the holes for the tuners. And then we can put that aside and get back to the body. And we will continue with that next week. Maybe next week. I'm trying to think of a stage that I could get us to in between the shows that wouldn't be super boring to watch. Because the body, I mean, the next stage of the body is gluing the top to the back, which is really not that exciting and doesn't take like, okay, so today we're going to glue the top to the back, and then we just do that. And then like 7 minutes later, it's like, okay, now what do we do for the next couple hours while that dries? So maybe we'll do another turning show next week. while that is happening. I'll glue that up at some point. And then the next stage that we watch or that we do on the show would be the trimming of the top to the back and routing of pickup cavities. Could be a show. Pickup cavity singular. Could be a show. And the drilling of knob holes. We're just making up names for things. And routing out an electronics cavity. And a neck pocket. Yeah, we are getting close. I want to say that we're like, I want to say that we're about halfway. Are you doing a pick guard to cover the top filled in cavity? What's the top filled in cavity? I don't understand. Are you talking about those pickup cavities that I filled with epoxy? They're going to be covered by the top of the guitar. You're not going to see those. Those are going to be inside the guitar. Oh, okay, forgot about that. Yeah, that was like one of the biggest shows that we did on the guitar was like resawing out those pieces of spalted maple and then making them into a top. We did all of that in one show. Overlook the tired, slightly buzzed guy. All right, fair enough. Yeah, so in case anybody needs a reminder on what the rest of the guitar looks like. Because Paul does. So this is our neck. This is Purple Heart fretboard, maple and Purple Heart neck. That's gonna go like this. Hopefully line up with a Purple Heart maple body. And then the top of the Purple Heart maple body is going to be this book matched piece of spalted maple. Wouldn't it suck if they didn't line up? They'll be close enough. I'm going to be very surprised if it perfectly matches up. Because, I mean, obviously when I designed it way back when, I was picturing it looking like it was a through neck kind of situation, right? But I don't know. We'll see. Pour your own resin pick guard with your logo in it. It doesn't need a pick guard. Pick guards on electric guitars are to cover up electronics cavities and wire harnesses and stuff, and this doesn't have those. So why would I make a pick guard for it? I mean, I could, but it wouldn't serve any purpose. What are you doing for a pickup? I am going to, well, it's still up for debate. I have a Seymour Duncan JB and a humbucker, and I have a Seymour Duncan 59. Or is that the same thing? Is it a JB 59? I have two different Seymour Duncan humbuckers that I could use either one of. But It's a single humbucker, if that was what the question is. And what that single humbucker is, I am not sure yet. I could be convinced to buy a specific pickup to put in it. I should have sent you a set of my pickups. You absolutely should have sent me a set of your pickups. You don't send me anywhere near enough things, Paul. You should. What were you thinking? Not sending me a set of pickups. I'm thinking of dropping a single Fishman Fluence in your next build. That sounds great. I don't actually know what that is. Put 4 pickups in it. Eat shit. Nobody needs that many pickups, and I don't care who you are. I think we've talked about that before. I think 2 is overdoing it. Use your amps. Also looking at Lambertones and Righteous Sound. These all sound like fantastic options. I don't know what any of this shit is, honestly. Now that Mike is a luthier. Yeah. No, I'm not. We had that discussion. We decide as a team that you can't actually be considered a luthier if you don't have formal training? Wasn't that how the discussion went? You got to pick up my pickup game? I don't, though. I don't. My first guitar sounds just fine with a pair of old, like, mid-90s Jackson pickups in it. Just fine. It just sounds just fine to me. Okay? It's not going touring with Pearl Jam. Okay? It's not what it's for. I only personally know one luthier. I personally know 2 luthiers. They're both here. Only one of them have I met in person. And he puts too many damn frets in his guitars. For no reason. All right. That's got to be it for tonight, I think. I want this. Can't wait for this to purple back up from its, like, it's kind of dull. I want it to get back to like that purple. And it will. Well, who knows? Purple Heart does what it's going to do. Put some heat on it and it'll purple back up. Yeah, it will. It'll also just do it all by itself eventually. And then over time, it'll lose it again and go into some kind of reddish brown tone where it will live for the rest of its life. Okay. That's it for this one. Unless we have any last minute things, questions, comments, concerns. Put the adequate bowl back up on top of the whiskey cabinet. It's not as bad as I always think it's going to be when I take it down, but that's a pretty good gouge right there. That's pretty good ripping in through there. Great show. Made me forget I'm in Omaha, Nebraska. What's wrong with Omaha, Nebraska? The Counting Crows wrote a whole song about it, and it was really good. Put it in a toaster oven. I would need a very large toaster oven. Omaha, somewhere in Middle America. We're right to the heart of matters. It's the heart that matters more. Counting Crows. Wow. That was from one of the best overall best albums in terms of its cohesion. It's called August and Everything After. This is Counting Crows' first album. Really, really good album. It's got no trees. Well, yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that, but stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe, everybody. Thanks for coming by. We'll see you. I don't know if I'm going to do a Saturday this week. It feels like 6 shows a month are too many for me. I did 6 shows in January. And so far 2 in February. Yeah, probably skip Saturday this week and just do next Monday. And we'll see how much I bother to do in between those two, in between this week and next, in terms of what you're going to come back to in terms of the guitar build. Maybe it'll just be a turning show next week because something will be in clamps or whatever. Did I say the thing? Stay happy, stay healthy, stay safe. Get on posting them shorts. Yeah, I will. Nah. Old man shakes fist at cloud.